Good afternoon, friends. Today we will talk about the most relevant events in the world. The world today. Ukraine live briefing, Wagner chief promises more victories at the front in first message since mutiny. Well, let's get started. The founder of the Wagner mercenary group, Yevgeny Prigozhin, shared an audio message Monday, his first since calling off his mutiny aimed at the leaders atop Russia's Ministry of Defense. In the recording, which was published on a Telegram channel closely associated with Wagner, Prigozhin said his fighters will win the next victories in the war in Ukraine. He also assessed his march on Moscow as successful. Our march of justice was aimed at fighting traitors and mobilizing our society, Prigozhin said. I think that we have succeeded in much of this. He did not specify where he is now or discuss Wagner's plans. It was not immediately apparent when Prigozhin's latest message was recorded. Other channels linked to Wagner and Prigozhin did not broadcast the message. Investigators on Monday launched the International Center for the Prosecution of the Crime of Aggression against Ukraine, a key step in investigating whether Russia's war in Ukraine meets the legal definition of the crime of aggression. The center, based in The Hague, is tasked with providing a mechanism for officials to collect, analyze and share evidence of aggression, a crime beyond the jurisdiction of existing international courts, to help build cases for future trials. Here's the latest on the war and its ripple effects across the globe. Key developments. The U.S. ambassador to Russia met with jailed Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich in Moscow's Levertovo prison on Monday. Gershkovich, who was detained in March on espionage charges, has been designated by the State Department as wrongfully detained. Gershkovich. The Wall Street Journal and the U.S. government have all forcefully rejected the allegations against the journalist. The ambassador's visit is the second since Gershkovich was detained, and it comes after a Russian court rejected Gershkovich's appeal against his imprisonment at Levertovo on June 22. The new center in The Hague is a landmark first step in building a case against Russian officials and a possible precursor to the establishment of a special tribunal. We cannot tolerate the gross violation of the prohibition of the use of force, one of the fundamental rules of the international rule-based order, said European Commissioner for Justice Didier Reynders at a news conference Monday. The International Center for the Prosecution of the Crime of Aggression is backed by the European Union, the United States and Ukraine. It will allow prosecutors from different countries to share evidence that could be crucial in later trials. We don't want to wait until the end of the conflict, said Ladislav Hamran, president of the EU Agency for Criminal Justice Cooperation, which will house the center. Its key purpose is to start building the case now, he said. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu credited the loyalty of his forces for the Wagner mutiny's defeat in his first public comments since the rebellion. These plans failed primarily because the personnel of the armed forces showed loyalty to the oath and military duty, Shoigu said, according to the state-owned Zvezda TV network. Moscow was rattled by the failed rebellion, which ended with Wagner chief Yevgeny Prigozhin agreeing to leave the country. A celebrated Ukrainian author died over the weekend of injuries from a Russian missile attack last week on a pizza restaurant in Kramatorsk, eastern Ukraine. Victoria Amelina, 37, was having dinner when the Iskander missile struck. Amelina is the 13th fatality as a result of the Russian attack on the Kramatorsk pizza restaurant. She was the author of 2 novels about contemporary Ukraine and children's literature. In a statement, the PN Ukraine Writers Association said Amelina was having dinner at the restaurant with a delegation of Colombian writers and journalists when the building was struck Tuesday.
За Лесова, блядь, за Кузьму, за всех пацанов, огонь!